Arena Group, the publisher of the famous Sports Illustrated magazine, has fired its CEO over an AI scandal. So, what really happened here? So, it was revealed that Sports Illustrated was actually using generative AI to create fake stories and fake authors and fake bios, and even going a step as the images of these authors that claim to have written particular articles were actually AI generated as well. Now, it looks like they also employed a third party to do product reviews, but guess what? Those product reviews also allegedly were using artificial intelligence, generative AI tools to create these reviews. Now, the question here is A, is that acceptable? And B, should the CEO have actually been potentially terminated over this? Meet Drew Ortiz, product reviews team member. Drew likes to say that he grew up in the wild, which is partially true. He grew up in a farmhouse surrounded by woods, fields, and a creek. Drew has spent much of his life outdoors and is excited to guide you through his never ending list of the best products to keep you from falling to the perils of nature. Nowadays, there is rarely a weekend goes by where Drew isn't out camping, hiking, or just back on his parents' farm. Now, I couldn't have said that any better myself, and I kind of want to get to know Drew. He seems really interesting. But here's a problem. According to Futurism, the magazine that actually broke this story, Drew doesn't exist. In fact, that entire bio was completely made up using generative AI tools, and even that image was made up as well. I know if I was to get a Sports Illustrated magazine and open it up and read a review or read an article, I would expect that those stories, those reviews were legitimate from actual people, not AI generated reviews or AI generated stories. And unfortunately, it seems like this is exactly what has happened. Now, I am sure that there is definitely more to this story, and we'll probably find out more in the coming weeks. But this kind of brings up a bigger issue. So, what is that issue? If a publisher or a organization uses generative AI tools, should they make it explicitly clear to the end user? So if I was to open up a magazine or open up that article in Sports Illustrated or read that product review, should there be a tag or something next to it that tells me this was generated by AI, instead of passing it off or making the average individual think that this is a legitimate product review? Because that's what's essentially happened here. And currently, there's no regulations, there's really nothing that compels an organization or a publisher to put some sort of tag letting us know that this is AI generated content. And as society, there's going to be obviously bigger uses, or I guess uses that are going to be going beyond text and going beyond images. We could have videos appearing that show something actually occurring, and we see this right now with deep fakes, but there's nothing that says that this is a AI generated video or these particular tools were used or this is a deep fake. We don't have that. And when we talk about our fight against misinformation and disinformation and deciphering fact from fiction, it's going to get very difficult. And I think it starts by having a honest conversation around, do we actually need regulations or do we need kind of standards that at the very least, as consumers or or individuals that consume this data or this information, is at least made aware that these tools are used? I'm not saying don't use these tools. I think that there is a lot of benefit to using these tools. I think it lowers costs, increases efficiencies, it helps you get over writer's block. That's a something that happens to me quite frequently. I'll be writing something like, okay, what do I write about? What do I talk about? And these tools can be very helpful in that moment. But if you start generating articles, if you start generating images, and in the future, as it gets even more precise, start generating certain type of videos, I think we should know, especially if these videos are being, or these articles, or these images are being posted on social media platforms, or in magazines, that we're made aware. And I think that's a reasonable ask. So there we have it. That's my take on the fact that the CEO was let go, allegedly because of this AI scandal. But the issues around it, and what are we okay with, and what are we going to do today to deal with the issues of tomorrow? So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to share it, like it, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel.